Well, let's get back to our top story here at home and the shocking devastation from the fire in Jasper. The pictures tell the story, charred rubble replacing vibrant communities after two fires merged into a monstrous wall of flame, whipped up by high winds and sent sweeping through the town with overwhelming speed. Alberta's premier says 30 to 50% of Jasper may be damaged. Parks Canada says buildings were lost but can't do a detailed assessment yet. Jasper's Mayor Richard Ireland last night on The National grieved for his idyllic town.
I have to say that as a third-generation Jasperite, it's unbearable. If there are homes for some, there is community for all. We will find opportunities to come together physically and, of course, emotionally and spiritually, and we will demonstrate the inherent strength of our community, and we will rebuild that town.
That was Jasper Mayor Richard Ireland. Sam Sampson joins us now from Hinton, Alberta. So, Sam, what do we know about the extent of the fire and the damage it's caused?
So I want to start specifically, Juanita, in the town of Jasper. If you've been there, you're wondering, where exactly did the fire hit? Now, according to Parks Canada, the most significant damage is in West Jasper and specifically southwest of Miette Avenue, while the east side, they say, was spared from significant damage. And we've seen videos from different people inside of the town really showing absolutely decimated homes burned to the ground. But then across the street or not too far away, a playground is intact. And so we don't know exactly how many structures have been burned within the town of Jasper. We do know critical infrastructure such as hospitals and schools have been saved. But as far as homes and businesses, Parks Canada still says there's a lot of work to do to figure out exactly how many structures have burned or what kind of damage they have suffered. If we zoom out, however, we do have a new map from Parks Canada, albeit a preliminary one, that shows the extent of the fire complex. And when they say complex, that means there's more than one fire that have merged to create this really big one. And so we're looking at about 36,000 hectares. And if you can see, this large fire, just really the cusp of it hit Jasper, and it is continuing to burn in Jasper National Park. Parks Canada says that the fire complex is not threatening any other communities around. So if you're around here, like we are, we're in Hinton, which is not too far from Jasper. The fire is not considered a threat at this point. This is a big deal, I should say, for us, because we need to know the size of the fire. Parks Canada says accurately mapping it has been pretty difficult because of strong winds, extreme fire behavior, as we saw when the fire breached town limits, as well as relocating emergency personnel to Hinton, to that town that's away from Jasper, when the fire breached town limits. So there are a lot of complicated factors here. They're still working to get a more accurate depiction of the large fire itself, as well as I mentioned, just the extent of the damage inside the town.
And Sam, you've been speaking to people fighting the fire. What have you heard from them?
Well, we've just heard incredible stories of bravery and resilience, I'll say. Specifically, I spoke with a young man who drives a water tanker. So he essentially was there to help refuel firefighter tanks to fight the fires. And he said on Wednesday, during the day, things were going pretty good. They were able to save some buildings in a park campsite. And then the winds changed, and suddenly he and others found themselves surrounded by wildfire. So he actually took refuge in this cinder block building and watched the fire go by from a window. You need to hear this.
Holy crap. This is getting real. And then the flames started getting closer, and you look out the windows and trees are starting to burn, grass is on fire. You look out the other way and all you see is black smoke. And scary situation. We just waited it out, let the main fire pass by, and made it out the road. There was a few trees down on the road, but we just drove right through them. That's why we got these big trucks.
You heard that right. He drove through some trees that were on the road. Now, Tristan Strong, that's the name of that young man, he wants to go back. He wants to help continue to fight the fires, and it is still a significant issue in town. Parks Canada said they were still fighting fires within the town vicinity, as well as, of course, that large 36,000 hectare fire in the national park. The thing that has helped, the weather. Yesterday, apparently the park received around 10 to 15 millimeters of rain. Yes, that helped subdue fire activity, and they do believe that that will keep fire behavior low for about the next 72 hours. However, it's just not enough to put out the fire itself, so there's still work ongoing. We are hoping to hear more about any help. We've seen crews from other municipalities around Alberta and other places in Canada coming to help, and internationally as well. But the federal government has promised some help as well. And there is a news conference 11 Eastern Time, 9 o'clock our time here in Alberta, with the Federal Minister of Emergency Preparedness, Harjit Sajjan, and the Minister of Environment and Climate Change Canada, Stephen Guilbeault, who of course Parks Canada falls under his jurisdiction. So we're hoping to hear more about exactly what kind of help is coming and when.
And of course, we'll be listening into that. Thank you so much, Sam. We'll check in with you again next hour.